In the case of Keilar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador by the Trump administration, CNN has learned that Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been in direct touch with El Salvador President Bukele. And in an interview with ABC, President Trump was pressed about why he hasn't brought Abrego Garcia back.
This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands,
he
sir.
came into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and with all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has ordered you to facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law.
Alexandra Ribe is joining us now. She is an attorney for Keilar Abrego Garcia and a partner at the Murray Osorio immigration law firm. Alexandra, thank you so much for joining us again. You hear what President Trump says there. Does that change your client's case in court?
Look, the issue is in the beginning, when our client, Mr. Abrego Garcia, was deported, the government was very clear in sworn affidavits in the press room that this was an administrative error and that he should not have been deported. And in fact, you cannot look at this set of facts and think any differently. This man had a final humanitarian order prohibiting his removal specifically to El Salvador. You cannot look at these facts differently. And now that the Supreme Court has specifically told the administration they must facilitate, actively aid in his release from detention, from his release from custody in El Salvador, and facilitate him coming back to the United States. Now, this administration is saying that this wasn't an administrative error, and in fact, that he's a terrorist or a human trafficker or a gang member, all these other things that they're saying, which you cannot have that. You cannot look at these set of facts and believe that to be true. And now also you have the president saying that he in fact could easily bring him home if he wanted to. If he was a good guy, then he certainly could pick up the phone and call the Bukele and ask for his return. But because of all these reasons that he's not a good man, he's not willing to do so. And it's really a question of accountability and whether the administration is accountable to the Supreme Court order and to the rule of law.
So sources had told CNN that this 7-day pause the district court judge had put in place on these daily reports from the Trump administration about its efforts to facilitate Mr. Abrego Garcia's return, they were put on hold because a diplomatic resolution had become a possibility. Is that true? And now that that is up, did those efforts fail?
I mean, look, we were very hopeful that the administration was working in good faith at the time a week ago when they asked for that 7-day pause in discovery. At this point now, our patience is wearing thin on that, and we're very glad that our understanding is that the district judge who is hearing this case seems to also have her patience wearing thin, because in fact earlier today, she denied the government's motion for another week-long pause of the discovery. So discovery is continuing. And from our side, we are going to do everything we can to figure out who in the government is trying to facilitate his return, what they're doing, and what is blocking him from being able to be returned. Because, I mean, even before Mr. Abrego Garcia was transferred to El Salvador, you had Kristi Noem, you had Marco Rubio, you had Bukele, you had all these people saying that there's this contract facility that the U.S. is working with El Salvador, and essentially we're renting prison space from them in El Salvador. And so now, if we're told, I mean, we have whole Supreme Court doctrine on the premise that if somebody is deported, the U.S. government is able to facilitate their return back in certain circumstances.
Alexandra, let me ask you, because the Secretary Rubio has said You know, our reporting is that he's been in touch with Bukele, but he won't say he was. He said he wouldn't tell even a judge if he was. Do you know if the Trump administration has asked for your client back, to get him back?
So I can't speak specifically to discovery right now because it is under seal. What I can say is that the district court judge, in her order today, said that all of our requests for discovery have to be answered by Monday, and that there's an expedited discovery process here.
I understand that. I understand that, Alexandra, that you're limited by that. I do want to ask you, since I have you, and we do have a limited amount of time, so I apologize for interrupting you. Trump talked about your client's tattoos on his hands. He insists your client has the letters and numbers MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles, not just tattoos that could be interpreted that way. Your reaction to that?
I mean, my reaction, to be totally transparent here, they do look a bit photoshopped to me, but regardless, this is a distraction. And at the end of the day, whether he's an MS-13 gang member or not, let's bring him back. Let's reopen his removal case and let's figure it out. And for the interview that Donald Trump had, that President Trump had, where he talks about whether immigrants should have due process. I mean, look, if we think that immigrants shouldn't have due process, I mean, one of the issues is that they do have due process under our laws. But then secondarily, I mean, you also have President Trump talking about maybe opening up this contract facility and sending U.S. citizens over there. So it doesn't stop at immigrants, and it's a scary notion.
Mr. Abrego Garcia's wife, Jennifer, told the Washington Post she had to move to a safe house after U.S. officials posted a court document on social media that included the family's address. Do you know what happened there? Is she still in a safe house? What's happening here?
She is at an undisclosed location, and the government did publicly reveal her home address. And I think that this is part of what happens when you're, trying to look through someone's record to justify what has already been admitted as an administrative error. And then these are the ramifications. Then you have a woman and her children, and her address is publicly available to anybody. Obviously, this case has taken hold of the whole country, and she is with her family at an undisclosed location, and I'm sure very frightened.
All right, Alexandra Ribe, thank you so much for being with us. We do appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.